point you have any questions, please just type them in the chat box and we'll get them answered just as soon as we can. For those who don't know me, I'm Jennifer Thomas. I'm Tennessee's Junior Membership Committee Chairman. And I would first like to start with an opening prayer. Carolyn Trimble, if you would please lead us in the prayer.
Dear Father, we pray for you to look after our country in this difficult time, chaotic time, and we pray after our nation's leadership, our nation's military, and the state of our nation and the health of our nation. And please just give all of us and our leadership wisdom and strength to get through this hard time. And in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Carolyn. That was beautiful. Now we've got a few guests I would like to recognize. Cecile Wimberly, our wonderful state regent, if you wouldn't mind to bring some greetings to us.
Well, I'm thrilled to be with you this afternoon for our TSDAR Juniors Quarantine. We have really embraced technology the last few months, trying to make sure that our daughters have activities and different ways to participate and continue to stay connected. And so I was thrilled when Jennifer came up with this idea and pitched it as something for us to do in lieu of the juniors retreat that we usually have each fall. And juniors, of course, are near and dear to my heart, having served as the National Junior Membership Chairman during the Young administration. You'll see, if I can tilt my head the right way, I still have lots of peacock stuff in my office, and I have a peacock Christmas tree that stays up year round. So my heart has been with the Junior Membership Committee for a very long time, since joining as a junior, and I am thrilled to be able to continue a strong tradition of supporting our juniors that really started back years ago, but came really to fruition during Mrs. Thomas's administration when we started the Juniors Retreat. And we have seen such a growth in our junior membership since that time. And I'm thrilled that we're able to continue this. So even though we're facing quarantine status, so to speak, we're continuing supporting our juniors, and I'm just so thrilled to have all of you with us this afternoon. And we're going to learn a little bit about junior membership and have some fun while we're at it. So thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Mrs. Wimberly. Also, we have Jean Ellen Melton with us. She is the National Junior Membership Chair. Jean Ellen, would you like to say hello?
Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for inviting me to join you today. As your state regent said, the Tennessee juniors have absolutely embraced technology, and I am delighted to have been invited to take part in your first and hopefully only quarantine. My daughter's teacher dropped by our house earlier today to drop off some schoolwork for her. She's going to be out of classes for the next couple of weeks. And she was wearing a t-shirt that said quarantine on it. And I thought, oh my gosh, I had no idea this was anything other than something really cool that y'all had come up with. But apparently there's a t-shirt. So thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to participating.
Thank you so much, Jean Ellen, for joining us. Now we have a few ladies that are here with us today from the state board. And just as I call your name, if you'll just wave, please. First Vice Regent Emily Robinson, Recording Secretary Debbie Parker, Organizing Secretary Marianne Pearson, and I didn't see Felicia, but I think she was supposed to be here, our State Historian Felicia Hicks, and Susan Thomas, our Honorary State Regent. And we also have Chloe Meyer with us, and I thought that Chloe was in California, but she's not, but she is a daughter in California. So we're glad to have Chloe here with us as well. And then finally, one last group of girls that I would like to introduce before we get things started is the Tennessee Junior Membership Committee. So whenever I say your name, please everybody wave. Katie Thrash and Rachel McKinley are junior shop vice chairs, And I want to give them a special shout out for all the hard work that they did in making virtual state conference sales such a success. They did a wonderful job. They were organized, they were ready for pickups, and they just did a great job. So everybody give them a round of applause. It was really great. And then Katie Schmidt, she's our East Tennessee Vice Chair, and I didn't see her, but I thought she would be here. Carolyn Trimble, who led our opening prayer. So glad you can be here. And Diana Anderson, our Outstanding Junior Contest Vice Chair. So thank you all so much for being here with us today. And everybody else, thank you so much for being here and supporting junior membership. First, I want to start with a short presentation that'll just briefly touch on junior membership at the state, chapter, and national levels. And as I said before, if you come up with any questions throughout the presentation, please just type them in the chat box, and then we'll answer them just as soon as we're done. So hang on and let me share my screen. Will you all thumbs up if you can see my screen? Cool. All right. So this is a little bit about junior membership, just briefly touching on all of it because there is a lot. So first I want to talk a little bit about the history of junior membership. The first National Junior Membership Committee was formed in 1937 by Mrs. Helena R. Pouch. Mrs. Pouch went on to serve as President General from 1941 to 1944. She had very specific goals in mind when starting the Junior Membership Committee. She wanted to gain junior members, train them and give them experience, build a well-informed junior membership, encourage active participation in all phases of DAR service, and to support the National Junior Membership Committee's official fundraising projects. After the death of Mrs. Pouch's daughter, Helen, the Helen Pouch Memorial Fund was created. Donations and contributions to the Helen Pouch Memorial Fund fund projects for the DAR schools, the National Junior Membership Committee project, and the Junior Membership Classroom grants. Today, there is an annual commitment of $120,000. These funds are raised by generous donations, fundraisers, and all purchases from the junior shop at workshops, state conference, and Continental Congress. Uh-oh. So where does all of that money go? In 2020, the Helen Pouch Memorial Fund raised over $240,000. The money is dispersed to projects voted on by the National Board. You can see a list here of projects and totals for 2020. So now let's talk about who is a junior member. A junior member is any DAR member who has full rights in the organization and has not yet reached her 36th birthday. Junior members are students, career women, mothers, and spouses, often doing one or more of these roles at the same time. Now that we know who they are, let's talk a little bit about how you can attract new junior members. Some of these following ideas may present a challenge during a pandemic. However, once we are able to go back to normal, these are just a few great ways to recruit. Keep a copy of your chapter brochure on hand and pass them out everywhere, especially events held at local colleges and churches. Set up booths at county fairs, music festivals, or craft shows, and participate in local patriotic parades. Ask current junior members to recruit their friends, relatives, and colleagues. And if you have daughters or granddaughters in CAR, remember that until their 22nd birthday, they may have a dual CAR-DAR membership. One thing that has definitely not been taken from us during the COVID-19 pandemic is social media. There is a ton of valuable information on the state and Tennessee Juniors Facebook pages. These pages are stocked with photos, articles, and newsletters. If you aren't already, please join these pages. And remember, if you are not a junior member, you can still join the juniors Facebook page. If you have daughters or granddaughters who are on the fence about joining DAR, encourage them to participate in junior activities beyond their chapter meetings. In Chattanooga, we have had several junior outings ranging from wine and cheese tasting to dinner at local restaurants. We started a juniors brunch rotation with all 5 Chattanooga chapters participating pre-COVID. I hosted a brunch at my house and had 12 junior and prospective members show up. It was a huge success, and I really can't wait till we can do things like this again. During Susan Thomas's time as state regent, as Mrs. Wimberly was telling us earlier, the idea to have a weekend of service, learning, and fellowship began. There are several ladies with us today who are responsible for creating one of the most looked forward to events each year, the annual Tennessee Juniors and Pages Retreat. Because of COVID-19, we are not able to hold an in-person retreat this fall. However, this Sunday tea, I'm hoping will qualify for a juniors event that teaches people all about junior membership. And bonus, we've never had this many people join us for one of the real in-person retreats. The 2019 retreat was held in Murfreesboro. We started our Saturday morning volunteering with the Stones River Watershed Association. We picked up trash and cleaned along the waterbeds in preparation for the annual Stones River Water Fest. We also planted 3 dogwood trees, one to honor our state regent, one in recognition of the Tennessee Junior Society, and one in remembrance of our dear friend Rebecca Limley. Rebecca was the 2018 Tennessee Outstanding Junior who tragically passed away too soon due to complications from a broken foot. We then returned to the hotel for lunch and an afternoon of swimming and relaxing. Later, we all gathered for an evening of informative sessions about DAR protocol, paging, being a junior on a budget, and the Outstanding Junior Contest. During these sessions, we were joined by our state regent, who once served as the National Junior Membership Committee Chair. It was such a treat to hear stories of her junior and paging years. The next morning, we had a short devotional and made a Tennessee Juniors We Are One in a Million video. For those who were able, we joined other Tennessee daughters at the Constitution Bell reading ceremony at our state's Capitol building in Nashville. Again, if you have daughters, granddaughters, nieces, or your friends' granddaughters, daughters, or nieces who have shown any interest in DAR, please encourage them to attend the 2021 Juniors Retreat. It really is a wonderful way to meet ladies from across the state who show the same interest in God, home, and country that we all share. So what can you do to help your junior members? Many times, junior members are working with a strict budget, which doesn't allow for them to afford certain activities. Several chapters have a line item in their yearly budget set aside for junior activities. This money allows the chapter to pay the registration fee for events such as the Juniors Retreat. Another thing, publicize us. We love being in the news. Let people around town know that your chapter's junior members are up to. Not only does it make us feel good, but it allows people in our community to see that we really aren't your grandmother's DAR anymore. We're involved and active in our communities. I cannot stress this one enough. Please encourage your junior members to enroll in the Members and New Horizon courses. It is a wonderful way for junior members to get to know the National Society and learn all about the ins and outs of DAR. I was blown away at what I learned that I didn't know when I finished my New Horizons course. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the Outstanding Junior Contest. First and foremost, an outstanding junior is defined as someone who exemplifies an outstanding performance in her DAR life. Ladies, if you don't take anything away from this presentation, please take this and name a chapter outstanding junior every single year. Even if the juniors in your chapter are not active, giving them this title is a way for them to know that they are an important part of your chapter and that you are thinking of them. The State Outstanding Junior Contest. All junior members are eligible to enter the state OJ contest any year before their 36th birthday. if they have been named their chapter's OJ the year they enter and have a minimum of 10 points in the state in which they are entering. For every officer position, chairmanship, years paged, pretty much anything you do in DAR until your 36th birthday counts towards your OJ points. All state outstanding junior outstanding junior winners are automatically entered into the National Outstanding Junior Contest. As I mentioned earlier, we have Diana Anderson with us, our vice chair for the OJ contest. So if you have any questions about OJ, it's typically a pretty hot topic. So just type them in the chat box and we'll get them answered for you after the presentation. So now let's talk a little bit about all those pretty ladies you see running around in white dresses. Anyone who is 18 and until her 41st birthday is encouraged to page at both state conference and Continental Congress. Ladies are also able to page in states other than their own. In Tennessee, our state conference allows girls as young as 14 to be junior pages. These young ladies can be CAR members, daughters or granddaughters of any TSDAR member. Pages are a huge part of what makes both national and state conventions go off without a hitch. Pages are dressed in white as a way to stand out to those who need them, but also to blend in and not cause distractions. I love being a page. It is what has made me love DAR and what makes me stay involved and keep coming back. And the lifelong friendships that you make while paging are priceless. Please, please, please encourage your junior members to page at state conference next year. Another way to show financial support to your juniors and pages is to donate to the Page Angel Fund. The Page Angel Fund was set up to assure all pages who attend state conference enjoy the meal on opening night. You can either sponsor a page individually or donate straight to the fund. After a long, hard day of paging on Friday, being able to attend and eat dinner at opening night is so wonderful. For more information on paging at the state level and the Page Angel Fund, please visit the Pages page on the TSDAR members website. In Tennessee, there are currently 2 clubs that recognize current and past junior members, the Tennessee Junior Society and the Tennessee Page Club. Both have a one-time payment for a lifetime membership. Much like the National Junior Membership Committee has the Helen Pouch Memorial Fund, Tennessee has the Molly Stewart Fund. Molly Stewart was a Winchester native who served the Tennessee Society as a page during her high school years. In addition to her involvement with DAR, Molly was also active in her community and was looking forward to her time at Ole Miss before she was killed in a boating accident just before her high school graduation. After her death, the Molly Stewart Fund was set up in her honor. Donations from chapters or individuals and contributions from the State Society help fund the Molly Stewart Fund. Each year, the State Outstanding Junior is encouraged to attend Continental Congress in DC, where she can be recognized in the National OJ competition and by the President General. Currently, Molly Stewart Fund monies help offset some of the OJ's travel and lodging costs to DC. If you were able to attend state conference pre-COVID, you probably saw the junior sponsor ribbons pages were selling. The proceeds from the sale of these ribbons was given to the Molly Stewart Fund. And finally, one more way you can support junior membership is to become a friend of junior membership. Any individual or chapter donating to the Friends of Junior Membership Endowment Fund is considered to be a friend of the juniors. The fund was authorized by the National Board of Management in October 1989 and was endowed in October 1995. The interest income from this fund is reserved for junior membership committee projects. Members and chapters are encouraged to contribute any amount to this fund, but those who contribute $100 or more are eligible to purchase the Friends of Junior Membership pin and wear it on their official insignia ribbon. An additional $100 donation allows the member to become a best friend of junior membership, where you are allowed to wear the pin with a gold hanging bar engraved with the name of the fund and the year the donation was made. These donations can be made directly to the development office at DAR headquarters or can be paid through the Sustaining Supporter Program, where you choose how much you donate per month. Either way, both the chapter and state societies receive credit for your donation. All right, now let's be honest. We only do it for the pins, duh. Being involved with junior membership has its advantages at the new DAR Insignia store. The top left is the State Outstanding Junior pin, typically given by the State Society to the winner of the State OJ contest each year. Next, we have the Chapter OJ pin, which can be purchased once you have been named your chapter's OJ. The Tennessee Page Club and Junior Society pins are next. You're eligible to purchase these pins after your lifetime membership dues have been paid and your name is added to the roster. Last but certainly not least, we have the Junior Bar. And honestly, to me, it's my favorite. It may be a tiny little thing, but you're only allowed to purchase this pin if you joined as a junior member. It's the perfect way to show off your loyalty and devotion to the Daughters of the American Revolution. Just as the national and state administration themes change, so does the national junior membership theme. In recent years, we have seen a cupcake, a peacock, and a compass. Mrs. Van Buren chose a firefly, theme being juniors light up our lives for her administration. If you plan to attend state conference in April, the junior shop will be stocked with all of your firefly needs. Please remember that you do not have to be a junior member to wear the firefly pin. And by wearing it, you are showing your support to the future leaders of DAR. And that concludes the presentation. I hope you all learned a little something. So now, stop sharing. Now, let me see if we had any questions. No prayers? I'm sorry, I was reading the word prayer. No questions? All right, well, if we don't have any questions, I'd like for everyone to grab a pen and a piece of paper. And next on the agenda, we have a little bit of DAR trivia. You may or may not have seen a couple of the answers in the presentation, so hopefully you're paying attention. And if you weren't paying attention, that's all right. Because not all the questions are about DAR. Since this is, in fact, a quarantine, you're going to be tested on your knowledge about tea. Each question is worth 1 point with a few bonus questions thrown in here or there. We'll be working on the honor system, so don't Google your answers. First, second, and third place will receive a special prize in the mail later this week. And in case there is a tie, don't worry, I'm ready for that too. So let's get started. Oh, wait. Start show. Oh, you're getting a bonus. Bonus time. There we go. Okay. What is the name of the first tea party held in the United States? Number 2. What is the name of the Tennessee fund that helps offset the travel costs for the state's outstanding juniors trip to DC? Where is the only tea plantation located in the United States? What year was the junior membership committee formed? Bonus worth 2 points. Which president general established the committee? The spicy milky tea from India is called what? What are the 3 missions of DAR? How much tea goes into the average Long Island iced tea recipe? How do you become a friend of junior membership? Bonus worth 2 points. What is the minimum donation to become a best friend of junior membership? What is tea in the afternoon called? Am I going too fast? Are y'all having time to answer? Okay, sorry. What year was DAR founded? Which has more caffeine, coffee or tea? What is the name of the National Junior Membership Committee's official fundraising project? At what temperature should tea be steeped? What age is considered a junior member of DAR? What country was iced tea invented? What is the deadline for submitting a state outstanding junior contest application? What tea is known for its calming properties? What is the minimum number of points you must have to enter the state outstanding junior contest? For whom was the tea blend Earl Grey named? What are the current clubs that recognize junior members in Tennessee? What year did the Boston Tea Party take place? For whom was the Helen Pouch Memorial Fund named? Only two more. What is the difference between black and green tea? And finally, how many founding members of DAR were there? All right, so this concludes the question part of DAR trivia. I'll now go through the answers. The name of the first Tea Party in the United States was the Boston Tea Party. The name of the Tennessee fund that helps offset travel costs for the state's OJ trip to DC is the Molly Stewart Fund. The only tea plantation in the United States is located in South Carolina. It's the Charleston Plantation. Junior Membership Committee was formed in 1937. The bonus points, it was the President General at the time was Helena R. Pouch. The spicy milky tea from China is called chai tea. The three missions of DAR: historic preservation, education, and patriotism. There is no tea inside a Long Island iced tea recipe. You become a friend of Junior Membership by making a minimum donation of $100, and it's $200 to become a best friend of Junior Membership. Tea in the afternoon is a low tea. DAR was founded in 1890. Coffee has more caffeine than tea. The Helen Pouch Memorial Fund is the name of the National Junior Membership Committee's fundraising project. 180 degrees is the temperature tea should be steeped. A junior member is anyone 18 until her 36th birthday. The United States invented iced tea. October 31st is the deadline for submitting an outstanding junior contest application. Lavender or chamomile tea are known for their calming properties. You must have 10 points to enter the state outstanding junior contest. For Charles Grey was the Prime Minister of the UK from 1830 to 1834, and they named a tea after him, and it's any tea blended with bergamot. The current clubs in Tennessee for juniors are the Tennessee Junior Society and the Tennessee Page Club. The Boston Tea Party took place in 1773. The Helen Pouch Memorial Fund was named for President General Helena R. Pouch's daughter, Helen. Well, the difference between black tea and green tea is the time taken to process the leaves. And there were 4 members, founding members of DAR. So now, how I think the best way to do this will be if anybody got a perfect score to raise your hand. Or unmute yourself and tell me, because I can't see everybody.
Was each question worth 1 point and the bonuses were 2?
Yep. Anybody get 27? 26? 25? Oh, Diana, I see you. Yay, first place, Diana Anderson.
Wait, I got 25 too. Up here.
Oh, okay. All right, so there's first and second.
We got 25 as well.
Oh, who said that?
Susan Harris.
Oh, I have you.
Okay.
So that's first and second, Diana and Susan.
Yay.
Well, both first. Anybody have 24?
Me?
Carolyn?
Yes.
All right. Well, there we go. I will get in touch with you all later this week on how to get you your prizes. And in case any of you just want to know what the tiebreaker question was, it is name the 4 founders of DAR. All right. Well, that was fun. Oh. Uh-oh. Escape. All right. So thank you all for participating. Congratulations to our winners. And I would like to take this time now to introduce to you all the hopefully new TSDAR Outstanding Juniors Club. It's a new Tennessee club that will hopefully be organized sometime between now and when we'll all be able to meet again in person. After learning of a few states across the country that have state OJ clubs, Cecile and I thought what a great idea it would be to bring one to Tennessee. The proposal and bylaws are in the final stages before being presented and voted on by the state board. The main objectives for the new TSDAR Outstanding Junior Club will be to recognize past and present outstanding juniors at both the chapter and state levels, recognize achievement, which differs from the Junior Society and Page Club's financial requirement to be a member and are not achievement-based, to increase participation in the OJ contest, which would also increase motivation of juniors to serve as chapter chairman and officers in order to gain points for the contest, and to allow the chapter OJ chapter OJs to connect with each other from different chapters. All chapter outstanding juniors, which includes the state winner, since chapter winner is a prerequisite for the state contest, will be eligible to join, no matter their age, year, or state they were named chapter OJ. As I said, it has not been voted on and is not guaranteed yet, but please be on the lookout for information to come. Does anybody have any questions about the club?
Well,
Nope.
I have a question.
Okay.
Tell me again, these are for already juniors that in your chapter, is that correct?
It's for any chapter outstanding juniors.
Okay.
So if the Chickamauga chapter names an outstanding junior, she will be eligible to join this club.
I see. Okay.
And my hope is that by chapters adding a junior line item on their budget, perhaps they'd like to maybe pay the membership fee for their outstanding junior to become a member of the club.
Let me ask you one question, and this goes back to before. Typically, your juniors, are they typically members, are the daughters and nieces and relatives of current grandmothers and aunts? Are they typically that group?
No, it's a very wide range.
Okay.
I happen to be a granddaughter, but
We have
several
members
aren't.
in our chapter who have no relatives in DAR besides themselves.
Mhm.
That's me. My mom's not eligible for DAR.
Yes. Okay, just interested because we're definitely we would like to encourage more juniors. Just didn't know the situation. So thank you for that.
Yes, of course.
And Jennifer, this club, you wouldn't have to be a current junior, correct? It could be if you were your chapter's outstanding junior in 1944, you could join.
Yes, correct. That's right. So
Providing you could get there.
and if you were if you were a chapter OJ in Alabama, you can still join the Tennessee club.
Susan, I did want to clarify, there is a juniors club as well.
Right.
This is a different club. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure you knew that there was a regular juniors club for the state of Tennessee as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
It might be helpful to explain that National has an outstanding junior club, but that is only open to state winners, and they
Yes.
meet at Continental Congress. So this would be a companion piece in Tennessee so that all of our chapter OJs could have a similar experience and have that same kind of camaraderie with women that have shown service to the state chapter and national societies.
Definitely.
Yes.
And is the plan to have a one-time membership fee like the other juniors club?
Yes, it'll just be the one-time fee, and I want it to, or my hope is that it'll, instead of making another meeting that'll have to be included at state conference, just having the meeting be with the junior society, kind of running the same. So it'll have basically the same people that'll be attending the meeting.
Well, I'm looking forward to the applications to come
Yes.
in for the contest. That is a very interesting time for me because I learned so much about these young ladies, and I'm so very excited to look at their accomplishments. The Tennessee has some truly fantastic daughters in the junior age group. And y'all work hard. I mean, I don't see how a lot of you do what you do. So please know that we think about our juniors and we encourage our juniors no matter what age you are. I mean, I have a t-shirt made saying that I'm the TSDAR senior junior. So, if you're young at heart, you belong with this group.
And there's still time for chapters that haven't, selected their OJ yet. You still have the month of October, and the only prerequisite, for the state contest is really those 10 points of service. So if your chapter has a junior that doesn't have 10 points of service, that is absolutely fine. You can name her as your chapter outstanding junior. She doesn't have to fill out the state forms. She can still be your OJ. And if your chapter budget allows, you can purchase her that chapter OJ pin. And she can be it as many times. I mean, I know at least one person on the call was her chapter's OJ 4 times. And that you can honor a young lady multiple times in that position. So those are some important things to note about the contest. And if you have a young lady in your chapter that might have over 10 points, and I think that's a great thing to talk about. They get points for being a chapter chairman of a national committee. They can earn up to 2 points a year, but it has to be of a national committee. So like juniors or JACs or national defense. That's a way they can earn points. They can earn points if they page. They can earn points if they're a delegate for your chapter to state conference.
Yes.
And that's a lot of people don't realize at the state level, a young lady can get a point for both. You can only get 1 point at national level if you're a delegate or a page. You get to pick one or the other. But at our state level, you can do both. And then there's chapter officers that you can get points for that as well. So things start to accrue. And for your juniors that kind of go outside the box and start serving on the state level, there are points for serving as an officer for these clubs. And so one of the things we added that during the Young administration was to count state club service, because we recognize that a lot of states, and Tennessee is one of those states, that we have a lot of members, and it's hard to have multiple juniors serving on a state board. But state clubs allow our juniors to serve as president, all of the officers, and really have that opportunity to encourage those young leaders at the state level, even if they're not quite ready to serve on a board yet. It gives them experience. And I certainly know, I feel like I can speak from experience being club president of Cameo Club, which doesn't technically count for points, but I'm going to talk to you about that one, Jean Ellen. where legacy is now a thing. It gave me the opportunity to run a meeting in front of state officers, and they could see what I could do. And so that's one of the really encouraging parts about having clubs like this and allowing our juniors the opportunity to really shine in front of other state leaders so that they can see what they can do. And that opens them up for positions in the organization at the state level, for state chairmanships, for state officer positions. You know, it's really hard to give a young lady a job if you've never seen her in action. And so that's why these clubs are so tremendously important to the state and to encouraging that young leadership. So there's a lot of opportunities out there for the points, and there's definitely time for chapters to honor a young lady that's working. I say an outstanding junior is a junior that will come to a meeting. To me, that's all it takes, is someone that's interested and tries to be involved. And a lot of our juniors are not able to attend their chapter meetings because they don't live in the town that they maybe are belonging to. And the chapters that kind of think outside the box and give those young ladies jobs and opportunities are also really wonderful. So if you have a young lady who's maybe off at college, but she is able to come to 1 or 2 meetings a year, and she could be a chapter chairman, that's a great way for a chapter to get a young lady involved. And sometimes you can even make them an officer. I was really interested in history. I loved history, and I was away at college, but my mom could take pictures, and I created the scrapbook, and I would go to the meetings when I could. And so I was still able to be a chapter officer, even though I was at Lipscomb and away from the chapter, because I would come when I was home for breaks. So, and I think there is a question about the items for points and where are those listed. There's an application. And Jean Ellen, would you like to kind of talk to that?
Sure. If you look in the NIP or on the junior web page on the members website, then there's a section for the Outstanding Junior Contest, and you click there and through to the forms. And the actual application is what lists how many points each item is worth. And those do occasionally change from administration to administration. Like Cecile said, during Mrs. Young's administration, they added being the officer of a club. And so you always want to be sure that you have the current application when you're filling out, when an applicant is actually filling out her application. But just to touch base and keep an eye on it, if you have a member who thinks she might have her 10 points accrued in a couple of years, you could go ahead and download that, and she could keep an eye on and just sort of record as she has chairmanships or offices in your chapter.
I'm going to try to pull up the application and screen share it so you all can see it. But one thing that, it's taking me a while, I'm sorry, I'm not very fast. But one thing to note is if you have a junior and she's just starting out, I think this is a great technique. Have them start a box. It can be a shoe box. It can be a Tupperware bin, and just have her stick the stuff in it because every point has to have proof. And proof can come from like an NSDAR directory that shows she served in a chairmanship, or our state directory. She can use e-membership for proof, but everything has to be proven. And so you want to keep saving those things. So if she pages, there will be page card proof, and all those little slips of paper are really easy to lose. So a box is a great thing to start. Now let me see if I can pull this up. So give me just a second. And
Cecile, while you're pulling it up, I'll talk for a second. The
page card to the stage.
The important thing for you all, if you're a chapter,
excellent idea,
is to be sure that you are entering your officers, and I think a chapter regent can enter chapter committee chairs into e-membership. And something that is available for proof now that wasn't even a few years ago is an applicant can print off her e-membership record. And so for me, when I ran for OJ, I had to have every single chapter yearbook that showed every single chapter chairmanship that I had ever held to get those points. But now a member can go in, and from the time that her e-membership record starts picking up her activities, she just has to print the one copy and reference her e-membership report. And so it really is helpful to those young women if everything they're doing in your chapter that can be recorded in e-membership has been put there in her file.
I'd like to add something to that.
Yes.
Whenever you are accessing e-membership, sometimes you have to have special permission, like from the regent or someone like that, to give you the passcode to get into that screen. So don't be afraid to ask for access to e-membership to print, and make sure you let them know you're printing your personal information out. You're not doing everybody under the sun. So that's a real good point.
So here's a copy of the application. You can find it on the website, of course, on the NIP, but you can see we asked for some pretty specific information, including birthdays, because you have to be, a junior. And then we do ask
when you joined is important as well, because there are parts of the application that say things that you've done since you became a member of DAR. And so that's important to know.
So a great example of that was I joined in February of 1995. Don't write that day down. But I was my high school good citizen, and it wasn't actually awarded until after I became a member. So I won that DAR award as a member. So that's that's where my membership date really was important, because I had turned 18 in December. So, but you'll see they ask for non-DAR awards as well. This is a great way to highlight a woman's professional and academic career. And then you'll see on page 3, you start with the DAR leadership. And so you can kind of see right here is the points, the points per year and years served. So notice on some of these, you max out on the number of points. You can only get 2 points per year for those national chairmanships for a chapter. And then chapter officer. And of course, if you're a chapter regent, and if you organize a chapter, it's actually 2 additional points. So you get 9 points a year if you organize a chapter as a junior.
I would add to, Cecile, sometimes a chapter regent will think that she has a junior member who is learning how to do something, and so she'll make her a co-chairman with an older member, thinking that she's doing the junior a favor. But it is important to know that when a junior is listing that she is a co-anything on the application, she can only claim half credit. So sometimes it makes more sense to make somebody a vice chair, or sometimes it might just make more sense to make your junior the chapter chairman of JAC, for example, and then assign an older member as her mentor or a liaison. That you can record that in your chapter yearbook, but for the purposes of the application, she is listed as the sole chapter chairman, so she can get that credit.
That's a great point, because a lot of women have lost half the points for doing all of the work.
Yeah.
But you'll see, we'll scroll on down and you can see some of the differences between state vice chair and, for district director positions. So there's a lot of different things you can gain points for, but I'll scroll back up here. If you're a chapter, you can definitely earn a lot of points at just the chapter level if you start doing a chapter chairmanship every year. So that's really good to note. And it also, sometimes people think it's helpful to stack their junior and to give her 2 office positions, but note she can only count 1 chapter officer position. So not to share too much, but it would be better to make her a chapter officer and then let her chair 2 committees than to try to say,
yes,
here she's going to be the librarian and the historian.
yes. Okay.
So that kind of gives you an idea of some of the points. And obviously as they are more involved and more time consuming, there's more points given to them. So a national chair of a committee at the national level is going to get a lot of points for those years of service.
Diana, did you have something to add as well?
Yes, I'm in looking at the application, when you say paged Continental Congress, such and such, and you get points for that. Then you go to part 4, where it says other DAR activities.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, that's where you can keep a total of your mileage of these things that you have attended. Because when I think that's impressive whenever our judges who are non-DAR members, they go to read that and they look at the number of miles that you all have driven or traveled. If you went to Continental Congress, that is a lot of miles, and that's impressive to these ladies. So
And not
that's
just
the kind of thing.
not just Continental Congress, but ladies, you can take credit for paging at your state conference.
State?
Do you all have pages at
Yes.
meetings in Tennessee?
What now?
Do y'all have pages at your district meetings or your?
We're starting to. We had them
Okay.
at the fall workshops, and then
Okay.
we had them for our district online meetings because we needed the background technical support.
So
And I don't see that stopping.
if you want to scroll down to page 6, that's part 4 that Diana's
Yes.
talking about. Other activities, every time your junior member
All of that.
at any event other than state conference, she can list that. And Tennessee's like Kentucky, it's a long state. So you can a lot of miles driving across the state to get to those meetings, and you should record that.
Okay. Also on that page, that is the only page you have to list all of these other activities. And if you want to go in and type it where you can see it better and then shrink it, and you can literally tape it
Mhm.
to that page.
You can cut and paste.
And you can't go lower than a 7-point font because old ladies like me only have so many magnifiers.
You can't read it.
You can't
But that's a
read.
great point, because if you get to a certain point, even not just on the DAR activities, because you're only allowed that one, but if you look up here under even like chapter officer, if you joined and have done a lot of those chapter officers, you can run out of lines pretty quick, and you can cut and paste on these, or like the chapter chair of a national committee for your chapter. Cut and paste can be your friend when you turn 36.
Yes.
The last section after the other DAR activities is community service. So we talk about the points a lot. It's obviously, I think, 3 pages of the application relate to points, but the actual judging is not based entirely on points. It's based on the whole junior. So what is she doing in her community? What is she doing in her profession? So those other awards that are listed on page 2 and the community service and the other DAR, those come into play as well. And so that is certainly something to remember, that not every year, does the applicant with the most points win, because it's not just about the points. So that is also important to keep
That's
in
right.
mind.
Yeah, and a lot of it depends on your judges that you get, because I think
Right.
it's important to note these are not all DAR judges. 2 of the 3 are not DARs. So for them, a lot of times that community
Exactly.
service speaks volumes to them about what a young lady is
Yes,
doing.
ma'am.
So again, I would tell anyone that thinks I don't have enough points, I've only got 10 or 15 or whatever, you never know who else in the state is going to be running in any given year. And so depending on, what you've got going on and the other people that are participating in a given year, you could win with even 10 points. So don't ever let your point score or your junior's point score be a reason you don't apply.
And let's say if you don't happen to be the winner on a given year and you still have a copy of your application, you already got a lot of that done, so that if you would like to enter the next year, a lot of your work's done for you, especially on that first page where they're asking
Yes.
the date that you were accepted into the society, and information like that. You don't have to do anything on that page
Yeah.
if you've kept the other one.
Especially if you keep a copy of your proof, then all you have to do is make
Yes.
additional copies for future years. And that's a huge piece of it too, is I would encourage anyone, unless it's the very last year you can apply and you can never apply again, I would make sure I keep a full copy of the proof. So all you have to do is run a copy and add to it again if you choose to apply.
Yes.
Because even at the state level and the national level, if you don't become a division winner and a certain amount of time, which is, I believe, 3 years still passes, you can enter again. And that's why you see multiple Tennessee Daughters that have won more than once at the state level, because they were not a division and now national finalists. They used to have one finalist for every division, and then it changed to national finalists where they pick 8 across the country. So everybody can really have a chance to be a Tennessee OJ that really wants to put in the time and the effort at their chapter level. I'm going to stop sharing the application, and I'm going to try to cut and paste. I don't seem to be able to cut and paste into the chat box, but I'm going to try to cut and paste the application into that in case anybody wants to find it later. And I'm going to stop screen sharing.
Thank you so much, Cecile and Jean Ellen and Diana, for helping me out there talking about the OJ. I haven't ever been on that end of it, so I don't know the judging side.
It's very interesting.
It
I'm sure
is.
Jean Ellen and I
It
could
is.
share a lot of stories if we were allowed to, but we're not allowed to. There's also reasons why points get added and points get taken away because of some of those stories.
It's true. That proof is important.
Yes. Yes. And when an application comes in and there is not proof for it, it kills me to have to take those points away from you all, because I know you've worked for it, but the name of the game is document, document, document. Keep track of even if you think it's insignificant, write it down somewhere. Just keep a little notebook.
And I'll say too, if you get in a position, and I offer this anytime I talk to juniors in Tennessee, but if you ever get in a position where you've done the work and you can't find the proof for it, talk to some of us. A lot of us have proceedings, we have directories, we have a lot of those things that we've kept. I have the proceedings much further back than anybody that's going to be 36 and directories as well. So there's always going to be either myself or honoraries that can help you. And that does sometimes happen. Sometimes you lose page proof. And as if you've paged and you can get that information from the page chair you served under and the state regent can sign off on it, they can do letters of certification for proof that cannot be found as long as the work has been done and you've got the right people to certify it. So, those are all things we're willing at the state level to help you with. We just can't help you if it's October the 30th. So that's why it's great to start early collecting things and seeing where maybe you've got holes. And, if one of you were to email me today for something, I would do my very best to start finding you the proof you need in my records. But we just need time to do it. And with travel, even there is still a little bit of travel going on right now. We do need a little bit of time to find it. So if you think you are going to apply this year and you might be missing something, I would highly encourage you to figure out in the next day or two if you are going to need some additional proof or something, and then, shoot me, Diana, Jennifer, somebody an email, and we can, see if there's something we can do to help you find a directory that shows your service.
Anybody have any more questions about anything at all?
Can I jump on with one more thing and share with you all? I had a question the other day that reminded me you all might not know. The National Committee Helen Pouch Memorial Fund National Project for this year is the Fisher House. And I know y'all have a Fisher House at Fort Campbell, there by Clarksville. I don't know if Tennessee has other Fisher Houses or not.
We have one in Murfreesboro.
In Murfreesboro as well. So the junior committee, the Helen Pouch Memorial Fund distribution, was to the Fisher House Foundation at the national level. But we are encouraging our daughters to really support, and especially our juniors, to support the Fisher Houses in their states this year. So please do keep that in mind as we go through the rest of the year.
Okay.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jean Ellen.
I did have one more question in regards to the Pouch Fund. I know they were, the recipients were named. There's been some lag time in receiving the funds. I know this is probably not exactly the forum, but have you heard anything about that?
I emailed with Jeannie Van Dyke last Monday, and she has all the envelopes and everything ready to be sent to everyone, but she has not received the checks from National. So she's just waiting on the checks for them to be able to be sent to the teachers.
Okay, thank you.
And Jean Ellen, would you like to speak to the Firefly 5K as well? I think there's been a few announcements regarding people that participated in medals and things, but I'm not quite sure where y'all are at with that.
Yes, as with everything, it seems in 2020, the medals have been delayed in production. We are waiting on them, but that's where they are. So we are still hopeful that we will get them this month. I've not been given any notification of a delay, a further delay. So we are hopeful they will arrive this month. And what we'll do is send out an email to everyone who registered. So the email address you used to register for the Firefly 5K, when they're shipping out, so that you'll know it's coming and to keep an eye out for it. But as soon as they are received in Washington, then we have some juniors who are going to go into headquarters and get them shipped out just as quickly as we can. And thank you all so much. That was so much better received than we imagined or expected. So thank you all for supporting the Firefly 5K.
Can you share with our ladies where Tennessee fell in the state rankings?
Oh my God. Oh, speaking of Fireflies, I confess, I don't know exactly where Tennessee fell. Oh, we're really.
We were
third.
But I never heard where we ended up being.
I think we were just like maybe 4 or 5 behind Pennsylvania.
And then I logged on,
close.
and my cats may have been involved.
My dog was involved,
I know.
my husband, everyone.
We just wondered if we had pulled ahead.
Well, you all were certainly, it was Texas, Tennessee for a really long time.
Oh.
And then Pennsylvania started, their push to the top. So, yes, you all were fantastic, all of you, and we really do appreciate it. We obviously have sales, but it's different. And both at Continental Congress and at the state level. And so the Firefly 5K really has done a lot to support and supplement our Helen Pouch fundraising this year. So thank you.
It was so fun. I loved all the pictures and seeing everybody out doing it. It was really good. Thought it was a great idea. Anybody else? Well, if everybody is done asking questions, I want to thank Cecile and Jean Ellen and our state board and honoraries and vice chairs and everybody for just being here this afternoon. Hope you all learned a little bit about junior membership that maybe you didn't know before. And as always, if you have any questions at all, you can email me and I'm happy to answer anything about junior membership. I've had several ladies that have emailed me and tell me about, you know, who they've selected for their chapter OJs. And I love getting those emails and seeing what everybody's doing.
And I think Diana has something she wants to, I see a hand up.
Yes, yes. In chat, I typed in my contact information. So if you need to email me, if you need to telephone me, please don't hesitate to call and ask and contact me if you're having difficulty.
Sounds good. Well, thank you all again. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday afternoon. Have some more tea or whatever you were drinking and have a good afternoon. Thanks for coming.
Sure is
Thank
good to
you.
see everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye all.